From Liz Cambage straight up being a selfish and unprofessional teammate, to her reputation possibly ruining her ability to have a successful career, this is the real reason Cambage is hated. Despite being a talented athlete, Liz ruined things for herself with her horrible attitude. When you play team sports, you and your teammates need to have each other's back and have great chemistry if you want to win big. Unfortunately, Cambage didn't get the memo. She was a terrible teammate during her time with the LA Sparks. So it's no surprise that the franchise agreed to a contract divorce with the athlete, which was effective immediately. Just like that, her time with the team was over midway through the 2022 WNBA season. Sometime after this, crazy details emerged, which let us know just how bad things were. And we can thank Chris Haynes for letting us know. He reported that Cambage wanted to wear a retired jersey number before turning her attention to her teammate Amanda Zahuibi's number. Amanda didn't want to give up her number, which is fair, but Liz, being the entitled brat that she is, kept urging the Sparks management to give it to her. They couldn't say no since she was adamant on getting it. So without even informing Amanda, the Sparks gave her number to Cambage. Amanda found out through social media, so she was obviously annoyed. But that's not even the worst of it. Because apparently during film sessions, Cambage kept throwing all her teammates under the bus. She would accuse them of being selfish for not giving her the ball enough, which is pretty absurd. After all, basketball's a team sport. Not to mention, she wasn't even that good towards the end of her stint with the team. After playing her last game for the Sparks, Liz stormed out of the locker room after saying, "I can't do this anymore. Best of luck to you guys." Her chemistry issues with the team had been going on for a while, so it was only a matter of time before things reached their boiling point. What's more, she also had issues with others. Back in 2021, Connecticut Sun head coach Curt Miller said to a referee, "Come on, she's 300 pounds," when he was asking for a foul to be called on her. While Curt's comments weren't the best, they weren't too crazy. Yet Liz still got so pressed and took to her Instagram to say, "I will never let a man disrespect me, ever, ever, especially a little white one."
I will never let a man disrespect me. Ever, especially a little white one.
Clearly, Cambage always thinks she's the victim who deserves better. But come on, guys. When will she realize she's not the victim? I mean, her career's full of controversies that show us how terrible she really is. Just look at the time she was caught making disgusting racial remarks. Much like on the Sparks, Liz was the star of the Australian women's basketball team. But as usual, she let her terrible attitude get in the way of things, and now she's not welcome back on the team. Much like on the Sparks, Liz was the star of the Australian women's basketball team. But as usual, she let her terrible attitude get in the way of things, and now she's not welcome back on the team. Just before the 2021 Tokyo Olympics, Australia was up against Nigeria in a closed-door practice match in Las Vegas. And Cambage had a meltdown because her team wasn't playing too well. The athlete began the altercation by repeatedly elbowing her opponent from the Nigerian team in the head. But she did not stop there. She also slapped another player from Nigeria across the face. As if using her actions to cause harm wasn't bad enough, she also used her words to say some despicable things that were just unforgivable. She called the entire Nigerian team monkeys before telling them, "Go back to your third world country." The Australian team officials were obviously embarrassed as hell by what happened, so they had no choice but to call off practice before the second half even started. For those who still want to defend her, numerous players from Nigeria's team confirmed that she said both things. What's even more unbelievable is the fact that right before the match, Liz told the Nigerian players that she wished she was playing for them instead, since her Australian teammates were racist. After all, back in 2016, Cambage called out her Australian teammate for having a black face. So there was some truth to that, but as it turns out, she was the biggest racist herself. The outburst from Cambage was so bad that it pushed the Opals to their breaking point. A player from the team said that Liz's behavioral issues had been getting out of hand for quite some time, and apparently they were so common that they could write a book on them. But what happened in Las Vegas was the final nail in the coffin. Now Liz is half Nigerian since her father's from there, and she apologized to the team the next day, but the Nigerian players thought it wasn't good enough. Eventually, it was officially announced that Cambage would never play for the Opals again, and it's hard to disagree with that decision. Everyone was disappointed in her, especially fellow Aussie, Andrew Bogut. Despite numerous people confirming what Liz said during the outburst, Bogut came out and publicly said that we were just hearing the PG version. There was much more than that. According to Andrew, the words she said were ones that you wouldn't dare repeat. They were horrendous. He added that saying such things is inexcusable, mental health or not. Bogut also said that it was beyond despicable of the athlete to say what she did. But what do you expect from a loose cannon like her? That said, he was glad that everyone at least came out and exposed Liz for her behavior. Now, no matter where she goes, this controversy will follow her around. But despite all the evidence going against her, she had the audacity to come out with a statement in August 2023 claiming that she never said those words. She tried to make it seem like a case of the media twisting things to make her look bad. But come on now. We all know how she is as a person. Even the Nigerian team called her out on her BS. Not to mention, this scandal exposed her for being pretty hypocritical. As I told you earlier, she was trying to get on the Nigerian team since she claimed her Opals teammates were racist. But she clearly isn't any better. Plus, she threatened to boycott the Tokyo Olympics after a promotional photo shoot for Australia omitted people of color, including her. She went on to talk about how the photo shoot was whitewashed and that people of color deserve better, which are incredibly valid points. But the issue is that she herself has such a negative attitude towards them. So what's the point in acting so high and mighty? After the comments she made during her meltdown, it's clear that Liz is guilty of internalized racism. If she truly cared about the rights and representation of people of color, she would have never said such disgusting things in the first place. While this was the biggest controversy of her career, let's not forget about her making an OnlyFans account, which only made fans badmouth her more. Of course, making one is entirely her choice, but many people see it as her not respecting herself enough, with many male basketball fans criticizing her over her choice. She essentially quit basketball to pursue a career as an OnlyFans model, and even her posts on Instagram are more about showing off her body than basketball. This hasn't been received very well by many. In fact, in a recent post from November 2023, she can be seen in revealing clothes while on her hands and knees as she drinks wine from a glass. The top comments were mainly people criticizing her, with one saying, "You'd never catch an NBA player doing this," while another expressed their disappointment in her going from a basketball star to this. Even otherwise, there's a general attitude that some people in society have towards OnlyFans models. So there's no doubt that it only makes people respect her less. Keeping everything in mind, will her current persona ruin her chances of having a successful basketball career? Liz was once one of the greatest women's basketball players ever, but now she's not welcome on the Sparks, nor is she welcome on the Opals. As if that wasn't bad enough. Thanks to her horrible comments towards members of the Nigerian team, she can't join them either. It seems like her basketball career might just be over. What's more, she makes way more money from her OnlyFans than she did from the WNBA, and even though she's criticized for it, there are also many who support it because they find her attractive. Remember that post I told you about? Well, some of the comments had people telling her to keep posting stuff like that and forget about basketball, so there's no doubt that a sizable portion of basketball fans will be more than happy to help her OF career thrive. But in November of 2023, Liz also dropped a bombshell of an announcement on us. As she said, she's signed a 3-month contract with a Chinese team worth a jaw-dropping $1 million. The contract is set to start next year, so who knows? Maybe this will allow her to revive her basketball career. There you have it. From her reputation possibly ruining her ability to have a successful career, to Cambage straight up being a selfish and unprofessional teammate. That was the real reason Liz Cambage is hated.